Okay, I'm back with the beat magician, Norman Cook. I just made that up.
That's very good, actually. Bootsy Collins calls me the Mad Professor.
Oh, we have to talk about Bootsy Collins later.
Oh, okay, sorry, I don't want to jump the gun. All
you're
right.
not allowed to.
You're the interviewer.
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
Sorry.
It's my show, excuse me. So,
Shulligan.
I've only heard 5 tracks of the new album,
right.
but that's sort of the first impression I have is that it's more slow-paced and much more soulful than the other stuff. And was that planned? Did you want it to be that,
Not
or
really.
did it happen?
No, I think it's just that the person who made it was a lot more relaxed and calm.
Yeah.
When I made the last album, I was kind of... I'd just got dumped by my girlfriend, and I wasn't unhappy, but I was a bit kind of like just partying all the time, going, everything's all right, I'll work really hard, you know.
Yeah.
And now I've fallen in love and got married, and I'm going to be a father, so I'm just a lot calmer person. And I don't think there was no kind of conscious effort to make it like that. That's just what came out.
Yeah.
And I just realised yesterday one of the major reasons is because I live on the beach and I work at night. I just realised that what happened was I'd get up sort of mid-afternoon, just chill out on the beach, walk the dog or whatever. Then me and my wife would sit and watch the sunset, and then I'd go to work.
Yeah.
So every day when I went to work, I'd just watch this beautiful sunset. So I'd go into the studio with my head full of sunset.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it ended up a lot more, you know, call it sort of relaxed and soulful and happy. I mean, I'm definitely a happier person than when I made the last album.
Yeah. You can hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
And another thing is, after the success of the last album, this one didn't have to go, here, look at me, you know, it didn't have to kind of grab, it didn't have to grab people's attention. It could just be going, no, I'm sitting over here having a drink, and if you fancy it, come over and have a drink with me, but, you know, I'm not going to...
So it's a little laid back.
Yeah.
Completely. So for the first time, you're working with real, living...
live musicians,
yes,
live singers.
Live singers, and one of them is Macy Gray. And did you... She did 2 tracks, didn't she? Yeah. And did you write them for her, or did you listen to the track and say, I want her to sing it?
Well, I heard her album and really liked her, and it all started with the Chemical Brothers. Yeah. Because they're friends of mine, and they were saying, why don't you use live vocalists? Why do you always use samples?
Stupid.
And no, not stupid, but they said, and I said, well, I'm quite shy about working with other people, and, you know, and no one would want to work with me anyway. And they said, I think, at the moment, you know, you could probably phone up anyone and they'd probably work with you. Yeah. So they said, who's your fantasy singer at the moment? And so I said, Macy Gray. And so we got my record company to phone her up, and like the next day it came back, so, oh, Macy loves you, yeah. So I did that.
That thing that she heard the songs and was absolutely flattered, wasn't she?
Well, that's after we finished it.
Okay.
This was just she'd heard the last album.
Yeah.
And so then I just sent her some rhythm tracks that I'd been working on, and she kind of wrote the lyrics over the top, and then we met up in LA and spent 3 days kind of piecing it all together. Yeah. I recorded the vocals, then I took everything back to Brighton and finished it off.
But you just said that you were shy before with working with other people, because it's much... I imagine it being much easier to choose your own vocals, and you can loop it as much as you want and do whatever because you're sort of the main boss and the absolute controller about everything, and as soon as you have a star in the studio...
Yeah, especially if it's a star, and it's like someone you don't know very well, and if they start singing, you have to say, sorry, that's no good. That's no good, do that. And it's very difficult, you know, to say... You know, and I just... You need a lot of tact and diplomacy. Yeah. You can't go, that's rubbish, don't do that. Yeah. You have to say, I think it'd be better, maybe if you did this. But then I have to stand there in front of Macy Gray and go, what about if you went like, you know, sing things to her. And so it's quite embarrassing, you know, and you have to hope that you get on, and, you know. I had this awful nightmare. She was like a couple of hours late, and I was sitting there with my engineer, and I said, what if the stuff she's written we just don't like? Yeah. What if we just hate it? Do we just go, forget it, and fly home? Or do I have to sit here for 3 days pretending that I like it and then throw it away? And I was like, so it's a lot, you know, it's a lot easier just to sit home and you do what you do, and you don't have to explain, you know, why you like, So there's a whole different set of skills, like I said, of diplomacy and encouragement and stuff like that, which is harder work, but I think ultimately more rewarding when it goes right. Yeah. Especially, I mean, the song Demons, I'm very, very proud of, and I know she said in an interview recently that she thinks it's the best song she's ever recorded.
Really?
So yeah. So it's harder work, and it meant flying all the way to LA. I mean, the last album cost you know the price of the DATs we mastered it on,
yes.
And this one we needed 2 flights to LA, hotels for 4 days, and booking a studio. So it like sort of increased the cost of the album tenfold.
Yeah. And one quote I read of yours is that the first thing you realised about Macy Gray is that she smells good.
Yeah.
What does she smell like? Can you describe?
I can't. No. It's quite a sort of motherly smell, rather than like foxy lady kind of thing.
But it was her sort of body smell, not.
I think it's more her hair actually. Is it her hair?
Yeah.
And when we met, I sort of gave her a hug, and I just thought, and she's shorter than me, so I've kind of got my head in her hair. Gave her a hug, and I just thought, and before I'd thought about it, the first thing I said to her was like, "You smell lovely," and she was like, "Oh, thanks."
Thank you.
So we kind of got on after that. I think, but that's the sort of people we are, Yeah. I'm sure if I went up to, Missy Misdemeanor Elliot, her anyway, if I went up to her and said, "You smell nice," she'd be going, "What?" Yeah. But I mean, I think that's, Macy and Bootsy are definitely kind of my kind of people, you know. Don't take things too seriously.
The song "Demons" you just mentioned, and you said, and I'm not quite sure if it's right. You said it's the main sort of track on the album, or it.
Well, no, it was the pivotal track where I started to realise what the album was going to sound like.
Okay.
Because obviously, starting this album after the last one, it's always a bit daunting, and you're a bit kind of like, what do I do now?
Oh God, everybody's waiting.
Yeah, and I quite definitely didn't want it to sound. I didn't want to repeat the last album, and and the whole big beat thing, had kind of gone. So, at first, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted the album to sound, and so for about 2 months, I just did like 20 kind of sketches, and it wasn't until I came back with the 2 Macy tracks, and then I made a compilation to play to my manager of like 6 tracks, and for the first time, it began to sound like an album. Rather than a collection of sketches. Yeah. So it was the 2 tracks with Macy were when I thought, yeah, I've got.
That's the direction.
I've got 6 out of 11 of an album now, rather than I'm just demoing a load of stuff.
Yeah, sort of bits and pieces. Yeah. And another guest you also mentioned is the wonderful Bootsy Collins on your album. And what I think you're close friends, is that right?
We're not. I wouldn't say we're close friends, but we've worked together before and we get on very well.
I mean,
I don't go around his house for Christmas lunch or anything. I've known him about 3 years, and we work together quite a lot, and we really get on. Like my wife said, she hadn't met him before, and she said when he came round, she was like making a coffee downstairs, and she said within 3 minutes all she could hear was us 2 laughing.
Yeah, that's a good sign. And then what is it like working with him in the studio?
A sheer joy, a sheer joy. When I was mixing down the track, I had to really chop up the tracks because you can just hear him laughing over the intro. Yeah. In between and all these bits, and at the end he's always still laughing, or we're having jokes together, while the track's going.
And he has a good laugh, hasn't he? I remember.
He's got a great laugh, yeah.
Very loud.
Yeah,
very loud laugher. Okay.
And he always hits you on the thing when he laughs.
That's what Germans often do. They hit themselves, go.
Oh no, he hits you.
Oh God.
He hits you. He goes. Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter. Oh God. Here goes "Praise You" for euch. One of my favourite videos ever.